kind of like the Super Bowl and how there's a lot around that.
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay. Interesting.
I caught a cold yesterday. That's fun.
Oh no. Dude, that
Died.
sucks.
I was gonna work
Yucky.
out, but I can't. Well, I could, but I really, really don't want to and don't need to.
You don't what?
I probably could work tomorrow, but I really don't want
Uh,
to and I don't need to. And it's more like physical, like sort all these wooden beams,
hmm.
moving shit around, go pick up garbage, shovel out this hole, stack this wood, split this wood.
Yeah, if you don't have to, I wouldn't. You got a cold.
I'll live.
Yeah, you'll live. Um, well, in that case, I think I know kind of how I want to take this session. Really quick, I will just let you know. So what I do now is I record these, and then at the
Yep.
end, I'll ask if you are okay with me posting it or not. So feel free to
Okay.
like talk about stuff that you don't want on YouTube, but then when I ask you, just let me know. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Really quick, last time we talked, we had an action item where you were saying how you wanted to make
Thinking.
content.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you thought about a niche for that?
Um, Not terribly much. I have kind of reflected on what I wanted to do in the past, and one thing you said was like pick something that I could just like do and like make content for. It's not like super long form, not a huge commitment, and I'm kind of struggling to think of anything really along those lines. I
Hmm.
have considered like I don't know, documenting experiences as maybe like I learned to code or something.
Ooh, that could be good. Actually, yeah, that could be
Yeah.
really good. And honestly, um, like having a personal channel, just to start is maybe not a bad idea. The way I'd skew it though is just like have there be some sort of point as well. Um,
Yeah.
like there
Here
are
are the tools that I learned. Here's how they're helpful. Here's my journey.
exactly. Um,
Not just a here's my journey.
yeah, because then you can also because then one, it's helpful to people, which means that they'll actually maybe you want to watch it because honestly, like you know, people just don't really care about
If
each other's stories
yeah,
for the most part.
yeah, when there's more engaging content and if you're doing something that specific, nobody really like I'm not Michael Reeves. Nobody
Yeah.
really cares about my journey. But if they see, "Oh, YouTube, here's this add-on for scripting. I need to know how to use it." Then maybe they do care about my input to the extent of like, oh, he struggled with this and wish it had this feature from there. Do I know how to navigate around that type thing as opposed to, wow, I'm really sad that he struggled with that.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, that could be a good that could be a good thing. Another thing that could well, I'm just trying to think here. Um, like there are plenty of channels where it's literally people just like go on camera and they just talk for like 10 to 20 minutes. And that's all they do.
Yeah.
They just talk about like whatever the hell is on their mind. Um, so you could maybe and I'll be honest with you. Well, two things here. So one, uh, I know that you have the like gifted neurotype. Like it's so
Sure.
like
Yeah.
plain to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
And I have the same thing. And I think that it's actually really easy to make content when you have like the combination of this like gifted neurotype and ADHD because your default mode network which is like your ideas part of your head, is basically on overclock, like 24/7.
I'm always doing something new that is interesting to me.
Yeah. And like you have all these ideas, right? And what I've found, like for me personally, is that my channel has kind of been like a backbone for me, where it's like it keeps me stable enough, but at the same time, like I can just explore and like connect and relate ideas back to my channel. And
Mhm.
it's actually pretty surprising how far out there I can get. And these ideas, because of, the mix, it's like they just come to me naturally. And I feel like you would be the exact same way, where it's like if you had a channel that was about something and then just like let your brain kind of do what it already naturally does and just like tie ideas that you're learning about back into what you're making content on, you could make a really good like uh talking head explanation type videos, kind of like mine. Or if you wanted to bring it to like coding or like uh maybe just like nerdy
I
stuff in general, it's like you could have a mix of like showing your screen, here's what I'm doing, and then like going to the whiteboard, scribbling, and then like going back and like clicking on stuff. Like that could be an
Mhm.
option too. Or just talking, like just talking about stuff that's on your mind. Like that could also work.
Oh, I need to get in the whiteboard. Hang on.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, uh, How do I know if I'm in?
Doesn't look like it.
Hmm. There we go.
Boom. So yeah, the yeah.
There we go. I recently discovered a few I guess they're vlog channels, and they kind of just sit there and talk about things. Like they have I don't know. Uh, there's one in particular, and she did videos that were kind of like analyzing her experiences and talking about a broader theme. And then she had a few reacting to your confession videos, or just talking here's a list relating either directly, indirectly, or not at all to a subject. And she was just yapping, and she had really interesting takes on a lot of things. And that was
Hmm.
really funny. I think I could do something kind of like that.
Yeah, man. I honestly, like maybe you just need to experiment. Uh
Yeah.
and like I would say that that's probably the best thing you could do. In fact, if you want, what I can do is I can give you my content SOP, and you can just look it over, and then you can think about what you want to do. But I would say make a goal of, because honestly, shooting a video is actually really easy. Unless you have
Yeah.
unless you have like a convoluted setup, which mine is a little bit. But really, it's just like you get OBS Studio, and then you like record your screen, and then if you have a phone, you can there's certain apps where it's like you plug it into your computer, and then you set it as your webcam in OBS, and then you just like
Oh, hell yeah.
set it up.
I ha
Yeah.
I have an adjustable phone holder right next to me that I used to record. Well, nope, nope. I don't know if I want this to be uploaded, and I have right to not incriminate myself.
Okay. Um, but another option is like if you already have that, then like an option is just like using it. Um, I was doing this for a time and it worked. It was a little bit jank. I mean, it just depends on what's gonna work better for you. But for me, I would record with the phone and OBS at the same time, and then what I'd do is I'd file
Mhm.
transfer the video on the phone onto the computer, and then just put them both in the editor, and then like line them up so that my mouth and
Yeah.
the video were the same. But
I use I use DaVinci, or I have used DaVinci Resolve. I have used OBS. I've used GIMP for photos for PNG stuff.
oh heck yeah,
Um, I don't have much experience in any of them, but I know the basics, kinda.
dude,
So
that's all you
yeah.
need. You are like ready to
hmm
go. You are literally ready to go.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
I
and
hate
it's
DaVinci though. Like, why is
yeah,
it so weird?
dude. No,
Anyways, it's free. I can't
yeah.
complain.
I'm not gonna lie. Every video editor is weird. I actually can't use DaVinci on my system right now. I'd have to make a flake for it, and I don't know how to do that yet. Um,
Oh,
but I use Kden Live. It's been the only one that doesn't crash on me. So, but I think
gotcha.
DaVinci's good. So yeah, dude, you're ready. You're set. Um, s-
Wonderful.
so I would say let's make a goal of just shooting like a 10 to 15 minute of you talking about something, like whatever that looks like.
Okay.
Um, you know, whether that looks like you talking about something like a tutorial on on your screen, like sharing your screen, or whether that looks like you um I don't know, doing a talking video where you're literally just like talking to the camera about something. Whether that's like you
hmm
sharing your screen in front of a whiteboard, like something. Let's just do something.
Okay.
In fact, why don't we just
Yeah.
pick right now? Like, what do you think? What type of content do you think is good for you just to start? And you can change it. It's just an experiment. You can change it.
Okay. What would I want to make like right now?
Yeah.
Um. Oh boy. I don't know.
What's on your mind? What have you been thinking
What's on
about?
my mind? Um. Like switch. I don't know how to put it into a concise sentence, so I'm gonna say a few.
Hmm.
Um. Because I in my state we have a program for running. It's called Running Start. It covers the tuition for classes at college when you're in high school. Really cool program. Um, I'm allowed up to 21 credits per quarter, and that's based on the number of credit I'm taking at the high school at that time. And I don't know, just the process of going through that and like starting classes was really interesting. And I'm thinking a lot about like how the process was really simple, but the people along the way were not helpful at all, and I got very mixed information.
Hmm.
And so I'm kind of like, everyone says do it early, get it done as soon as you can, like apply for the thing, whatever. But not knowing to do that and having to do that was so interesting.
I see. So,
And there were a few examples that I could yap about.
yeah, maybe you could, take those thoughts and kind of aim them in a way where it's like condensing them into a video where you basically talk about like what to do when you are stuck or it's like you don't know what to do. Um,
Right.
I think that could be a really interesting video. I think people would really like that. Which I mean, your first video is probably not gonna. It'll probably get like 2 views, and I'll be one of
Yeah.
them. Like honestly, but um, you know, it's still like you just start, and then a cool thing about
Yeah.
making videos is that you know how you were saying like, oh, I'm not quite sure how to say what I'm trying to say right now. Uh,
You can make a long form where you just yap about the whole point,
and
and
then
people will listen along.
yeah, and then at the same time, it's like what you're doing is you are learning how to articulate that point so you can reuse it again later
Oh, yeah.
easier. Yeah.
True. Yeah. That's
And
that's why
so,
I talk to myself.
yeah, dude, exactly. Exactly. And
Yeah.
I'll typically do that too. It's like if I know I'm going to make a video, not even if I know I'm going to make a video, my default mode network is really possessive and I'll sometimes just like pace around and talk to myself for like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like talking to an audience as if I'm shooting a video, but it's like nobody's there, and I'm like not even realizing I'm doing it because I'm so like it's usually I'm kind of like depersonalized when I'm doing that. Um, so I mean, it just kind of works.
Yeah.
So I just let it happen. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, dude, I think that's a really good first video. And so I'd say like you can heck, you could even shoot that today if you've got the time.
I might. I'm also considering talking about, like, I really, really, really want to talk about, like, high school. And I don't know if it's because I grew up in, like, a rural, middle and nowhere, like, our high school's trash. There's nothing there. Um, but like it felt like there was opportunity in every direction you looked. And the thing about rural high school is nobody cares at all what you're up to as long as they know you're not up to something bad. Like don't climb on the roof, but you're allowed to climb up the ladder to the roof. Like you're fine, you know.
Interesting.
Um and so there's not like a lot of official clubs or whatever, but like the metal shop teacher, the wood shop teacher, they, as long as you pass your safety test and you're not goofing off, they don't care if you use the stuff in there for whatever.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
you can get a classes like quote unquote independent study with like, okay, the lead IT dude at our school district brought in all these components for me and gave me a guide, and now I'm building my own like 2 hertz computer.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like you can do whatever you want. Like for me, that was making an inventory for the school's PAC, and now we can keep track of lights. I'm still actively working on that. There's so much to do, but so few people want to or know that they
Mhm.
can. I didn't know I could till last year, till halfway through last year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude. That would that would be a great thing to talk about. That's a great video topic. Um,
Yeah,
just like these ideas that you have, like just kind of like generalize them and then like use your life examples as like an explanation in the middle of the video and then just kind of like branch off as you're talking about them and let it turn into whatever it turns into. Honestly.
yeah.
Like people
I
love that.
think there would probably have to be some kind of central idea or like
Yeah, of course.
topic, but yeah,
Yeah, no, dude, it's literally just like you get a piece of paper, you write a few bullet points on it, and like the title of your video at the top, and you just like the title is just like basically what the video is about. And then you just
yeah.
like maybe reformat it to be more clickable later. So,
This I have my notes out in front of me for the thing I was working on before. I'm gonna just flip to the back of the notebook and
hell yeah, dude.
read it in reverse order for that.
There you go.
There's no way I fill it up.
So yeah, dude,
Okay.
I think that's a perfect goal. You should like shoot a 10 to 15-minute video today. And I do recommend starting a timer when you start shooting. Um, just because like what I find is when I you may have the same problem where it's like you get to talking and then thinking and then it turns into a whole thing and you just like keep
Yeah.
going. And then kind of want to get into the habit early of like, okay, hit the timer, then it's time to wrap it up. And then when you go and edit the video, it's like be completely okay with pausing for like long amounts of time as you're recording. And completely
Yeah.
okay with like experimenting with how you say things and then like stopping and like going back and re-saying it because you can edit all
Hmm.
of that out. And if you set a timer for like 15 minutes and you have a lot, which you may because it's your first time, then like you go into the editor, you cut that out and it's like a 10-minute video, which is like perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, there you go. That's your needle mover. That's the
Okay.
bottleneck right now for the rest of your life. So let's start that. Um, Tell me kind of in general. It sounds like you're doing um more stuff in general, and so I kind of want to know where you're at in terms of like
Yeah.
stress.
Stress. Um, it's definitely been a bit higher recently. Um, I had a really interesting experience. A few years ago, I was in an incredibly unhealthy relationship, and I would have these absolutely wild mood swings. Um, I won't go into details, but they were like really, really bad. And they were consistently on a schedule. But the reason for them was unique each every time. And those kind of went away when I went on a relationship and other stressors walked out of my life. But the point I'm getting to is a couple weeks ago, I had mood swings that were incredibly similar to it. And I
Mm.
was so confused. I'm like, oh no, ah. And then I talked to someone about it, and they're like, what did you eat that day? I'm like, a lot of corn, and that's it. And I mean, I had a ridiculous amount of corn. So we think it was just like a sugar crash, like an ungodly amount of corn.
Yeah,
It's just starch. So
that
that
will
was
do
kind of
it.
funny. Um, and like reflecting, I think what it was is the stress of everything was amplifying my kind of like I was hungry. I
Yeah,
wanted to eat. Yeah.
dude. When
So
you are when you are hungry or when you have just eaten, it's like those two states, your brain is kind of like going crazy.
yeah,
Um, and so like I always tell people to just like not like don't work after you eat. Sometimes I do, but I try to keep it to like a 30-minute window where I still feel okay. If I try and
yeah,
tackle something big after I eat, I'll start to get emotional. Like it's just bound to happen because your brain is just
yeah.
using so much energy digesting. And same thing if you're hungry. It's like your brain is like basically pouring energy into like your survival mode, and that makes you like reactive and like tripping because you haven't had food.
I went to
Um,
clean a floor earlier and I hadn't ate anything. It was like around 11 and I was dying, man. Like I was really hungry and I was sitting there like, "Oh, I'll take the 10 minutes, clean the floor, whatever, whatever." And I just kept walking out of there towards the kitchen and I'm like, "What am I doing?" So I got a bowl of cereal with gloves on and everything.
oh my
I just
god,
sat there and ate it.
dude. Sometimes that's what it
I was
takes.
too hungry.
Sometimes that's what it takes. Um, and I want you to know that that's actually pretty normal when you have ADHD.
Yeah.
Like you're not tripping. Um,
Mm.
ADHD does come with emotional dysregulation. That's actually like part of the disorder. And so having
Mhm.
like the extreme swings is pretty normal. Uh, and the way that you prevent them and create more consistency in your life, honestly, is kind of by like overcompensating your like mindfulness and calm down ability. Um,
Yeah.
so that's kind of how you can think about it is like when you start to notice that, it's like, oh, I'm like tripping. I'm like tweaking out. What do I need to do? I need to like bring my awareness, and something that works really well is 4-7-8 breathing, where it's in for 4, then you hold for 7, and then you out for 8. And what I find is that uh, so Navy SEALs use this, samurai use this back in the day, and it's kind of interesting. Like these specific numbers, I find that your brain will like naturally like kick into parasympathetic mode at each stage of this, and it's kind of interesting. So if you just do that like 1 or 2 times, you'll be good, and then from there it's like okay, strategize because what that does as well. when you become more mindful is you wake up your ACC, which is your anterior cingulate cortex, which is like the fire
Okay.
alarm for your,
Wee-doo.
yes, it's like the fire alarm for your, I'm not even going to try to acronym that, but it's like the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which you can think of as your brain's CEO. That's like the strategist and executor part. So honestly, if
Okay.
you want to get more done, like this is something that you can do is like spam mindfulness when you're trying to do stuff.
I have um like I was very I've always been interested in like watching therapy videos on YouTube,
Hmm.
and they're YouTube videos. They'll only get you so far. But it did expose me to the idea pretty early on of like being aware. I never had really any concept of what to do with it, but that piece is starting to come like a lot more now, which is really awesome. Um, so I was aware of like, oh my god, I'm really stressed out. Oh, these are mood swings. Like this sucks. I didn't know what to do about it. So being able to have that support, like I have a lot more support now, um, and the big thing for me has been mindfulness, um, and being able to identify it more accurately, and being able to say this is how I tend to respond to this. Um, like here are things I can do about that, or hey, maybe I shouldn't hang out with this person right now. I'm really not feeling it, even if I want to.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be a fun time.
Yeah. And sometimes the and actually I'll say this, if you're having mood swings, uh sometimes it's because you don't have enough stimulation, but more often than not, like this mood swing will make you overstimulated. Um
Yeah,
that is a
it's very
problem.
stressful, it's draining.
Yep. And that is a problem we have with ADHD is our sensitivity to dopamine is higher. And it sounds weird, but like stress is stimulating. It is technically kind of dopamine. That's why people will get like addicted to like drama. Um,
It's your body saying, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." It is a rush in a way,
yeah,
a drawn out rush.
exactly. So like some people literally are addicted to suffering, and that's why that's where you see like the super disciplined bros. It's like they're basically just addicted to the bad feelings associated with that.
Oh, this sucks, but I'm gonna trudge through it, and it's gonna be pretty great at the end.
Pretty much.
Mm,
Yeah. This is how
that can be me.
workaholism works. Yeah,
It
no.
doesn't. You've talked about it before. It doesn't really like. It's better to just do what you want, and making sure you're getting in what you need to do at the same time.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to cut out what you want.
Yeah, no. I I would say like there definitely is how would I put it, like sacrifice. Like the more you sacrifice, the more you get out of life. The more you're okay
Yeah.
with losing out on value, the more you will get in return. That's how it works. That's just like inherent. But that being said, you can think of terms kind of in terms of focus, where it's like this is something I'm big on right now, is like thinking in terms of like intensity and like being hardcore, which I
Yeah.
I always try to tell people like teach people like a more holistic kind of productivity. So I don't think that people should be stressed out when they are trying to be productive. I want people to heal their relationship with work by making it what it's supposed to be, which is like a dopaminergic daisy chain, like into the bright future. Um,
Yeah, if you're working towards something that's bettering yourself, that should be a positive thing, right?
Yeah, no. And you should feel good about it. But a lot of people
Mhm.
don't celebrate their wins. They're really impatient with the results. And they also don't have any systems that are supporting them. So they're doing all of the cognitive heavy lifting. And then at the end of the day, they just feel tired, you know? Um,
Yeah.
s- so yeah, people have this like abusive relationship with work, and we don't want that. However, I do know that when you have ADHD, you typically are a more intense person. It's sort of like you don't really have a middle gear. It's like your middle gear is kind of busted. And so what I tell people to do is like don't bother trying to be in middle gear. If you feel like working, then try and have like a deep work flow state, you know? Um,
Yeah.
I will say the exception of this is there is such a thing as like a chill workflow where it's like you hop on the computer, you play the rain sounds, and then you just kind of like do task after task. And it's really calming. I had one
Yeah.
last night where I was listening to really calming music. Like that is one type of flow state. Um,
I was
but
hitting that before I checked my messages and saw our meeting was right now.
nice, bro. Sorry I pulled you out of it.
Yeah. Oh, it's what it is.
No. But but yeah, other times it's like you need to just turn on the Brain FM music, like the high entrainment stuff, and like use the quiet eye and just like lock the hell in and like be intense. Um, like our brains like that, or like having a day where it's like you've decided like I'm gonna work at least for 6 hours today, and like nothing's gonna stop me. You know, just having that intensity, and then also applying that intensity to the time when you're not working, where it's like basically like work hard, play hard, rest hard. Like that's kind of the loop. You just want to be like
Yeah.
hardcore about each of them. Um, and there was something I was gonna
Be
say.
hard.
Be hard.
Sorry.
There you go. Yeah, maybe simplified.
I should make that into a shirt. I'm always hard. Hard at work, hard at play, hard at rest.
There you go. Be hard.
Be hard. That would make a fire bumper sticker, dude.
Oh my gosh. Be, oh gosh.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. Thank you for the laugh.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Um, there was something I was gonna say about this though. The shoot. Hmm. Losing my train of thought here. But yeah, like honestly, just like making things uh as intense as your brain wants them to be. Because like really there's two types of anxiety when it comes to work. There's the type of anxiety where it's like, oh no, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I'm like scared and I'm like facing a bunch of resistance. And that's because you're probably
Yeah,
in your head like impatient or think you have to do more than you need to, or like you're doing too much. Like that's where that's coming from. At some level, even
yeah,
if it's just your perception, you're doing too much. Um,
yes,
but then you have the other kind of anxiety, which is like, ah, and it's like it can kind of be mistaken as this other one sometimes and also lead to you not working. Like people will fall into this vicious loop where they're basically being eaten alive by both. Um,
yeah,
but like there is a type of anxiety where what's really going on is your brain is like, I have not worked on my goals for X amount of time, and I am upset that I am not focused and I'm not actually doing the things that I want to be doing, which is working. And this will also create anxiety. And your brain won't really tell you that. It doesn't have words to tell you that. You just kind of have to learn what that feels like, where it's like, oh, I just need to be working right now. Like, I need to be in a deep work session because my brain is like tweaking out about the fact that we haven't made progress in a week, you know? So,
I would say the intense version of that is like when you if you ever like sit down all day, you know,
hmm
and it's not a regular thing for you. If you sit down all day, you're sitting in your chair doing nothing all day. You will be tired,
yeah,
even though you've been doing nothing but sitting. Like it's just you don't. Your body expects you to be moving, there are negative consequences for that mentally as well. Like, if you're not using your brain and you enjoy using your brain,
Your brain will revolt.
then it's gonna suck. Yeah, it'll
Absolutely.
pull a French. It'll
Yeah.
behead you.
Yeah. uh so
And
yeah.
literally, like I would imagine, like the synapses in your brain would die a little too. Probably not like dramatically, but
Oh no, absolutely. There's
to like emphasize the seriousness of it.
yeah, dude. There's
Right.
and it's kind of got me worried about AI. And it's why I'm a little bit like wary. I try not to use AI as much as
Hmm.
I can. It's very useful, it's helpful. I think it definitely belongs in people's productivity, but I try not to use it too much because there's been like studies that have shown like if you take like taxi drivers before GPS was a thing, and then they like did MRI scans of them before they were using a GPS and then after they got a GPS, and they found like significant reduction in parts of their brain, like really
Yeah,
alarming. Um, and so it happens
I
fast. If you don't use it, you lose it.
for sure. And I mean, like the extent of that, I don't know the actual extent of it, but the that's so interesting because I imagine they could recall the streets and stuff like they could have before.
Hmm. Actually,
Maybe,
so the way it kind of was, and like other people who have switched to like using AI to help them code have experienced this as well. It's like you lose the kind of ability. Like if you have something else that's overcompensating for you in a bad way, where it's not really helpful, it's just like stealing your brain activity. Um, what happens is you'll sort of lose the ability over time. And so like those taxi people, if they had to just suddenly like use a map again, they would find that they forgot a ton of street names. And they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, what the hell? I used to have the skill and now it's gone." Um,
yeah. That kind of
but
has to be terrifying.
it is, but at the
But
same
they really don't.
time, it's easier to learn it back again. That's kind of the
Yeah.
thing. It's like there is some sort of muscle memory still there. You just need to reactivate it.
It's the same way with muscles too though, right? Like when
Yep.
you work out, you stop working out, you work out again, you're going to get right back to where you were.
Yep. Pretty much. It's exactly the same. It's
Okay.
just kind of how our body
Is
works.
that is the metaphorical muscle, mental muscle.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So when it comes to like assists, I what I like to do is I kind of like to declare bankruptcy on the things that ADHD makes you bad at, where it's like you can stress and try your whole life and still probably not get that far. And for that, you want to build accountability or not accountability, accessibility systems, where it's like
Okay.
you're building the machine that basically makes it so that your brain doesn't have to do that anymore. And typically, when you do this, you'll be solving a problem in a way that a neurotypical brain, like in a way that is more foolproof and robust than a neurotypical brain. Like, oh, if I forget stuff all the time, maybe I should just like have a like comfy sling bag on me literally 24/7, and I should keep like a little notepad on me 24/7, and it acts like my second brain, where it's like I don't have to remember anything. I
Yeah.
just put it in there. And then you can keep
I did
like
that one time.
yeah.
I had a gum, like a 35 stick gum thing. I had a few. And I just grabbed a bunch of note cards, chopped them in half, threw them in,
Ooh,
and then got a bunch of paper clips and I had them all organized. And I was starting to do color coded and then I dropped the ball on it and stopped doing it. But when I was doing it, it was amazing.
dude.
I had it
Okay.
organized by like what I needed to do, just in general, and I could break it up into okay, I should do this and this today, and then I can delegate tomorrow to this and that, and it was really really good.
Dude, if that system worked for you, and I'm gonna be honest, like when you said like I tried to color code it and then kind of fell off, like to me, what that says is you had something that worked really well, and then you added a little bit too much friction to it, and your brain was like, nah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So, dude, I would
That's great.
honestly highly
Yeah,
recommend just hopping back on that horse. Like, just try again.
I should. Oh, you know what? Earlier I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna hop on, see what when my assignments are due. Do I have anything that's due today or tomorrow that I need to freak out about? How am I gonna delegate this out? What calendar apps can I use to kind of figure this out, mark this down? I don't think I need to. I think I need to get right back on that.
Yeah, dude, if that works, it works.
I actually have them sitting right here. Holy crap. Wait, are these old notes? No,
Funny how that
these aren't.
happens.
Dang. I had some for like just kind of thoughts I wanted to do. This was back when I was doing my Factorio run, the original one with NAR.
Oh, nice.
And I had like factories that we needed to plan out written down on them. Dude, it was so good.
Dude, just start doing it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, like that is one strategy that really works for like the uh ADHD and gifted like combo is, cuz you have so many like ideas like all the time. Like I don't know about you, but I'm constantly having ideas, like literally just constantly, and it feels so
Yeah, yeah,
stupid
yeah.
sacrificing all of them. Um but like that is
You
one
will
thing.
forget them if you don't write them down.
Yeah, so that's
Oh, but
one
they're
thing.
so good.
Yeah, that's one thing is like writing them down will help you remember them, but it'll also drastically reduce the stress and cognitive overhead
Mhm.
of like, oh no, the idea didn't come into fruition because I wasn't doing enough. Where it's like if you just write it down, it's like your brain is like, ah, it exists somewhere. I'll get to it someday, you know? And so it's like
Yeah.
way more chill about it. And it's also
Now
good
it's
for
a,
like,
ooh, I'm excited to go and review these at the dedicated reviewing these time instead of a
yes,
God, I really hope I remember this at
yeah,
4
dude,
and I write it down somewhere.
exactly.
Yeah,
And then, um,
amazing.
on top of that, it's like if you just interrupt yourself where it's like, "Ooh, this is a really good idea. I could totally like sit here and ideate on this for like an hour. Let me just write it down." And then you can tell yourself like, "Oh yeah, I'll get back to that." And it could be like you'll actually
Mhm.
will in a review, or you could just be telling yourself that. And so then your brain is like, "Ah, okay, cool. We'll get back to it." And then it'll forget about it. And then it's like you didn't have to sit there and ideate for like 30 minutes when you could have been doing something more productive, you know? So it just,
I can. One part about my system that was not intended but has worked amazingly is the way I bundle up the cards. So I have the cards and then I have the little paper clips. And originally I was like, okay, this system is really transferable to just writing down thoughts in general, writing down things. And so, having one bundle of paper clips for every single note wasn't really practical. But then when I started doing like, okay, homework, you know, things I need to do for school, this is not, this is filling up really fast. It's hard to look at. And I cannot have a section for every single class because that is not possible. That just won't work. So
yeah.
what I had to do is I had to do the work or the bundle would fill up really fast and it would be hard to use. And I didn't want that. And so I would do the work to avoid that.
Dude, hell yeah. That's great. That's a good system.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing there, oh, that's the thought that I lost. So I guess I'll come back to this because that's kind of relevant. Is,
Oh, the no middle gear. I'll
yeah,
linger on that.
I was going somewhere where I was basically saying like, you don't have to like live like this like crappy like super disciplined life. What you can do instead So if you look at how dopamine works, it's like the happiness chemical and the doing chemical. It's literally like a fuel source for getting stuff done. Like even when you're being disciplined, you're burning through dopamine. But it's also the happiness chemical. So like you could just opt out of like all the suffering and stress. Like you could just cut it out and you'd be better off. Um and
Yeah.
so a life that really works, like the doing whatever you want, like all you're doing, and when you do this, by the way, cost evaluation, that is also like the little spin where it's like that's what your ACC is really good at. And so you can basically enter this feedback loop where it's like if you decide intentionally, I'm going to live a life doing whatever I want intentionally and evaluating the cost, it's like when you take the moment to be like, okay, I could do X or I could do Y, and you choose to do what you actually want to do. It's like, let's say X is like hopping on the game, and you know that you're probably going to be on there for hours if you do it, even if you tell yourself 5 minutes. And Y is like
Mhm.
working on something that's important to you. It's like if you're unaware, you'll just like fall into playing the game. But if you take the second to be aware and just connect with your desire, and it's like, oh, I really want to play the game, but like I did that yesterday. And like, I also know that this needs to get done. And I also have this like little bit of a worry that it won't get done if I don't do it right now. And so it's like all you do is just connect with the desire. Like there's no discipline. It's just like, oh, I am
Yeah.
actually genuinely motivated to work on this project when I just stop and use like mindfulness and I'm just like intentional about what I actually want. You find like, oh, and then there's nothing, it's not hard. And what happens is when you do
Right.
that, evaluating those costs wakes up your ACC because that's what it's especially good at. Like that's what it's for basically is like awareness and evaluating cost. That's a specialty. And then you do that and then it,
Yeah.
it's the fire alarm. So it wakes up the CEO. And then in that moment, your CEO is like, "Oh yeah, what do you mean play the game? Like we're not doing that." And he just like shuts it down like automatically. So you just literally
Yeah.
bypassed like all resistance by just tapping into what do I actually want?
I can do that. I have done that.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that I struggle with the most, and it's so strange because I've been completely aware of it, but it still has so much power over me, is just like a I don't want to do it right now.
Yeah.
And I frame it in a way that I think I'll want to do it later. Oh, the stress of it'll make me want to do it or whatever, but it doesn't. And
Mhm.
I sit there and think about it, and it's miserable, and I should just do it. Like, you know, just get it done.
Yeah, dude. Well, it sounds to me like the problem is like you're basically sitting there. Like this sounds like overwhelm, where it's like a small action, but your brain is like, that's not going to give me more dopamine. Really, what it is resistance, where resistance is like manipulating you and trying to get you to think it's going to be worse than it actually is, or your brain is like
Yeah.
convinced, right? And so, like, all you have to do to slay resistance is wake up the CEO. And the way you do that is just by being mindful and of asking yourself, what do I really want? And if you do that, when your CEO turns on, resistance is just something that stops you from getting into that part of your brain. And so once it turns on, like just using awareness and like connecting with what you want, resistance literally just like crumples. It just falls apart. Like, whoa, it's just gone.
Wee.
Literally, literally. Like the CEO just like picks it up by the neck and just like flings it. So
That's
it's like
great.
you don't have to use effort. And then like the overwhelm goes away when you just bring awareness to it and like evaluate. And you can even like feel the feeling of resistance where it's like, oh, I feel kind of yucky and icky. Like I don't want to do it. But then if you just sit there for a moment and like listen to yourself internally and like watch your inner thoughts, watch how you're feeling in your body, it's like, oh, that's not that bad. It's like a slight buzzing in my chest, and like that's it. And then you just go do it. Because it's
Yeah.
like that would be ridiculous to make that stop me. That would actually be ridiculous, you know?
Yeah. I have um I have a therapist, and he's really, really huge on mindfulness, but he places an incredible emphasis of that on like how do we experience emotions in our body? And that
Mm,
I understand it. I really suck at it, but I think all that means is I just need to get better at it.
yeah,
um, and that's exactly what you're talking about is exactly what that is. It's like I know, I know this feeling is just like oh whatever, but the
yeah,
goal that I get out of it, the dishes are clean now. I don't have to worry about them, and I can put them away and then use them later, and it'll be great. And I don't have to look at them.
yep.
Uh,
The doom piles.
you know, like I don't have to worry about that anymore versus the like, ugh, I have to wash the dishes. I don't I don't want to get my hands wet. I don't want to get them pruny. We don't have a dishwasher, so my hands always end up pruny. And I always
Mm,
end up taking like way longer to sit there and just scrub at one spot instead of letting it soak or whatever.
yeah. Well, like, I just kind of want to get you into like the mental flow of things. So the way I want you to think about resistance is not just like a feeling. Sometimes, a lot of
Hmm.
times it is, but resistance can also be a false belief or a perception. And the like
Mm,
really what resistance is it's actually anything that stops you from getting what you want. That's how you can think about it. If you have a desire for something and you're not going out and acting on it, resistance is at play. Like that's what's going on. Well, if it's a desire that you actually
okay.
want, not a temptation, because resistance wants you in temptation. But, or actually, resistance is temptation. It's just like the unaware, like I'm not going to live, I'm going to do like, because resistance is like reaching for like the lowest hanging fruit. Like it just wants the YouTube shorts.
It is it is the idea of like I'm currently alive, therefore what I'm doing is perfect and anything that changes is absolutely terrible. No way.
Yes, but it's just wrong, just inherently.
Right.
And so, yeah, like I want you to think about resistance in terms of like anything that stops you from reaching your goal.
Anything.
So maybe, like I'm just using this as an example. Maybe your perception of like, I hate when my fingers are pruny, so I'm not going to wash the dishes. Like, stop and think about that for a moment. That is such a silly reason to not do the dishes because it goes away like
Well, I
almost
really
immediately.
genuinely hate it. Like it's a physiological like ugh,
Oh, it's like a
I hate
stim
it.
thing. I have that with wood.
Yeah, but
I hate,
really,
I hate, okay, sentence. Careful. I hate touching wood. So yeah, I don't know. Like my
yeah.
brain just like viscerally reacts if it's like a chopstick or something. I just hates it.
Yeah. I'm terrified of slivers,
Oh
but
yeah,
I don't know if I relate to it in the way you do.
I don't know. But hey, another thing you can do is just wear
I mean,
gloves. Like just solve the problem. Make a
yeah,
system.
yeah.
You could just have dishwashing gloves
Well,
at
there
the
you go.
ready.
That's awesome. Have you seen those dishwashing gloves that have like the little like spikes on them or whatever? Those are awesome.
I have not
I've
seen
never
those.
used them, but I really want to, and I think they would change my life.
Would it make you happy to buy them?
Yeah.
Then go do it. You're gonna get a better
Uh,
output. Like just, dude, every day you have the choice of picking the upward
I
spiral
do.
or the downward spiral. That is how ADHD works. You're either going to upward spiral or you're going to downward spiral. If you want to upward spiral, you got to align with your desires. Like, what do I actually want? What's going to make my life easier? Um, and then like when you do that, it just literally like depletes the option for the downward spiral. Like it just can't happen, pretty much, if you just keep spamming it. So
Right on.
yeah,
I found the most fake picture ever, and it's actually hilarious.
fake you do like AI.
Um, I put it in the thing.
Oh, shoot. Oh, oh, oh
Look
my
at that
god.
stain.
Bruh.
Look at that stain.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is not real lighting either.
No. This is crazy.
The plate is just shining white.
What the hell, bro?
Anyways, yeah. Oh, on that note, I was playing Barotrauma, which is like a 2D game. It is more single core,
Hmm.
which is whatever. My CPU should be able to handle it. We're playing it heavily modded, so I'm like, oh, it's the mods, whatever. Or oh, it's a memory leak, whatever. I was getting these wild frame issues after a while, and I've been having frame issues in other games, Helldivers, modded Minecraft,
Hmm.
whatever. I shouldn't be. Um, my CPU has been thermal throttling for the last
Oh.
forever.
Oh.
It has been screaming, and the screams have fell on deaf ears.
Oh no.
So I ordered some thermal paste.
There you go. Taking care of your digital environment.
It is it's fried, dude. It's actually
Oh
cooked.
no. It's like crispy dew.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no. Damn. Wait, so you don't have a
It's
CPU right
not like
now?
it's no, I do. It's not I'm using it right now. It's not
Oh.
unusable. It's just not performing as good as it should. And I'm hoping like it has a decent cooler on it. It's not super crazy like making all the heat in the world and causing global warming, but it's, you know,
Yeah. No, I hear you.
it is
You could cook an
it
egg.
is computer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um it was throttling a little bit below its intended like operating range, but it's been there so consistently so long that it is kind of, cooking and it's definitely on the older side, so
Yeah.
whatever. But
I guess
and
that
that relates to this because I was like right then and there, okay, I'm buying thermal paste. I'm doing it. I knew I should have done this before. I'm doing it right now.
oh heck yeah. There you go, bro. See? Just slaying resistance. You wanted to buy the thermal
Yeah.
paste.
I knew I needed to.
Yeah.
Oh god, I can't shell out $10. Gosh. You know.
You gotta go right a swimming pool.
I
You ever
what?
heard that? That analogy? Or not analogy, saying.
What was it?
Right a
What was it?
swimming pool.
Right? It's swimming.
There
No,
was
I have
a
not.
there was a Beatles member, and I think it's like his financial advisor. He told him, "Is like, I want a swimming pool in my backyard." And his financial advisor told him, like, no can do, bud. You're broke. And so he was like, oh, I'll just go write a song. And then he did. And then he bought a swimming pool with the money he got from the song. So that kind of framework of like,
That is like
go ahead.
that is kind of how like I want to live my life, you know?
Yeah, dude, honestly. But yeah, no, like this
I don't
idea of like, oh, I don't have enough focus or I don't have enough time. Oh, I don't have enough money. Let me like really quick just like spam solve a problem that like gets me what I want. Instead of like
yeah.
cutting into non-existent resources, which we can it can be tempting. Like let me just like go out of my way to do something for a short amount of
Mhm.
time that's going to get me what I want, and then I can do it.
I think it's so interesting when we think about it too because like nomadic life, right? That is what we were doing.
Yeah.
Maybe we had some sense of like here's the seasons generally, it's going to be colder around here. Do we have enough clothes for that? You know. Are the boats ready? Um, like, do we have enough meat? Let's go get some more meat, you know?
Literally.
How's the wood looking? We don't got enough? Let's go grab some more.
Literally.
Um,
See a need, fill a need.
and society has evolved, and now it's more of a like, you have to get a job to get the things you want. You have to get a job to get money to get the things you want. And there is very little room to just write a pool for the average person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the sense of, if you want a stable job, and I think this might become more and more of a problem with AI, you have to seriously invest in a skill set.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to gamble on it too. And
Oh
like,
yeah.
there is going to be so little room for entry level anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you will need to really be able to say like, you need me,
Yeah.
and that is such a big stressful thing. There's no way to do that in a small scale on a momentary, okay, I need to, I don't know, I want to replace this chunk of wall with some stained glass. I think that would be really, really cool. I'm going to go write a pool about this. How are you going to do that? And I mean, for some things, it works out fine, you know. Old man Joe down the road needs his car fixed. I can do that. I'm
Yeah.
going to do that, right? But, you know, people working like office jobs who have no experience in that, people who were told, you know, go down this field, it's stable, you'll be fine, and now they're stuck there. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. People getting stuck in construction work, that's a common story.
Oh yeah. Dude, it's sad. It's just, I don't know. We're just like more
So,
and more
my
we're heading towards a world where it's like the system basically tells you, "Oh, you have more freedom," as they're like taking freedom out from under you, like pulling the rug.
mhm.
But like, look,
And
you have
in a way we
shorts.
do.
You have shorts. You're free. You can look at all this content. Look at all this. Like, you can look up anything in the world. Like, you're free. You know?
It's such a fascinating thing that we can just sit here and scroll for hours and hours, and then go do our job and come back and scroll for hours and hours. And in a way, we are more free
Hmm.
because we have hours and hours to scroll. But what to do with those hours and hours? And like, that's so weird. I had a really good point and I forgot it, but it was regarding, oh gosh. It's not necessarily a negative thing though, because you have to adapt the framework of writing a boat if you're in that position.
Hmm.
You can't just write a boat. You have to write the entire album. Or no,
Sometimes.
write a pool. You have to write the entire, people in those positions,
Well, I will say this
like,
real quick. I want to say like one of these skills where it's like you can write a a pool is like if you, because I mean you need to anyways. So like this is something to think about. Just kind of like ruminate in your mind. Is like
mhm,
learn how to just like design a business and then like implement it like quickly, where it's like something small, even where it's like I'm going to
systems development.
literally, where it's like I'm just gonna like engineer this whole like process flow for a business in like a dopamine fueled like monster energy session, and then I'm gonna like make an SOP, like a checklist of like every part that needs to be done, and then I'm gonna like crank it out, and maybe it's like selling uh I mean, I'm gonna give you a weird example, but like for me, when I was a kid, I was kind of thinking about this where it's like, I'm gonna start breeding and selling leopard geckos. And I just kind of like
Hell
had
yeah.
that thought and then just like started to work on it. And I never finished it. Um, but like literally, like I could have just done it. Like I could have just done that. And then it's like I would have had a pool.
You totally could have too, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's like really simple or really easy. Just like find some sort of need that's like simple, small, and then like help people around you. Or even like I'm gonna give you like an example. I think I told you this before, but like one of the like most OP businesses is like this if you just have a van, you can just like go to a furniture store, print some business cards, put them on the table. Like, hey, I'll help you move your stuff. And then people will just call you and you just like move their stuff. And that's another version of like writing a pool where it's like it took like not a lot of effort to do that. And now you're like good.
It so writing a pool isn't actually about the writing, it's more about recognizing that you can.
Like there are ways, and actually this ties back to kind of the thing you were talking about with the school process being like a little difficult because you didn't know what you could do. It's like you actually can just do anything if you're willing to solve the problem to get there. Like that's it. You just have to
Yeah.
solve the problem. So
Hmm.
that can be something that lives in your head rent free.